Welcome everyone, and this is the first episode of Hungry Gamers. I'm your host, Hold X to Revive. This is Red Skittles,
Hi-ho.
Xeno Galleon,
Hi.
and Blaz.
Hello.
As you can guess, we are a relatively new podcast. Well, very new, this being our very first episode. We are here to basically talk semi-random stuff about video games. Generally, what's been going on in the news recently around the date of recording, and it may not always be the video games media. We may divulge into the practices of some companies, maybe even go into the areas of tabletop role plays and battle games, and maybe even go even further into the movies.
I likes me some movies.
We all like some movies. Okay, there's generally quite a lot going around thanks to the web from week to week. We are generally only going to be concentrating on 4 things that are important, or at least grabbed our immediate attention. Okay, so let's get straight into it. First up, Metal Gear Solid 5 has recently come out.
I didn't think it was out yet.
It'll probably be out by the time of this recording.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's come to...
No, I don't see a pre-order.
Oh, alright.
But, so Metal Gear Solid 5. It has come to light that the PvP mode is being locked behind a paywall. Now, mind you, this is a game that has a box price starting at around $60 depending on your region and where you get it from. Now, people have been jumping in saying, oh, you can get this in-game currency, well, earn this in-game currency and unlock it that way, so you don't actually have to part with your money. But let's all put it this way. You know a very large amount of people are.
That is just stupid. Why would you do that? You're already paying like what? I don't know. Here you probably paid like $60 for that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You paid your fee to get in the game. Why would you need to shell out more money? I know people are probably going to say, "Oh, you don't have to, pay the money," because you said what is in-game currency. You can still get it that way. The option to do that is still open, and people will do it. It's just a scheme for Konami to get more money out of that. It's sick and it's shallow. If you're gonna do that, make the game free to play.
Yeah, or at least lower the price.
Well, I'd not have the price in there at all. That's just it's gross.
Yeah, I say because at this point in time, it might have already been said by the time people are listening to this, but we don't really know how long it will take you to earn the equivalent of money to actually unlock the missions. Well, the PvP, but
Probably long enough for you to say, you know what, that price right there is really tempting, and then you do it because.
The actual price for it though, do you know actually the cost?
It's been a bit sketchy on where I've looked, so I'm not going to quote a price because, as I said, by the time people are listening to this, it could be that, no, this is the set price and it's something like $3. But still, it's $3 that you shouldn't have to pay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, we all 4 of us here, we play a free-to-play game in some form. Some of us have played Heroes of the Storm, we've played Warframe, we've played Skyforge.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone. And there's probably many more that we could probably go into for quite some time.
Mm.
And the fact is, I say depending, most of the time we're fine with microtransactions because at the end of the day, these games are running a business and a business has to make money.
Yeah,
I
totally
mean,
agree.
yeah. Hearthstone has its card backs and booster packs. HOTS has its skins and mounts. Warframe has basically a way to pay away the build times for items.
It's a cosmetics.
Yeah, it's nothing really groundbreaking. But to lock away an area of the game behind some form of paywall is, I don't know.
Sorry to jump in, but while everyone's been talking, I decided to see what I could find on the lovely internet. And on the wiki, the inclusion of microtransactions during its development cycle, Kojima Productions attracted criticism for its decision to include microtransactions, a system that allows players to pay for the access of content in a game. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, in Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. However, a spokesperson for Kojima Productions confirmed that the system was included to benefit players who may not have time to complete the game given its scale, and the content would be available exclusively through microtransactions. That sounds like a bit of a contradictory statement there.
Yeah.
Because, if I could complete the game, why does it say that it's still exclusively through microtransactions?
Because now the option's there, everybody's going to do it. It's not just the people who are going to be like, oh, I don't have enough time to play this. I better shell out a couple more bucks so I can beat the game faster. Or, everybody's going to just jump on board that and start throwing money at the screen, hoping for it to do something.
Yeah, and they talk about complete it for the scale because of the scale of the game. Yet, people are well aware of the scale of the game. So,
being game footage is pretty big, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you know or even have a suspicion that you might not be able to complete the game, there is a question of why buy it full price? Why or buy it at all?
Why own it in the first place if you're gonna not complete it, right?
Can't we get a Phantom Pain Light Edition?
I'm assuming that is the light edition, not the,
Well, it's got stuff.
There you go.
One thing I'd like to discuss, which may detract this a bit too much, is actually the game Evolve.
That game.
So I'm very sure when Evolve first came out, it was something in the region of £40, which will be probably about $60. And the first thing that was ever revealed in terms of news, like Jim Sterling covered this, was the fact that Evolve is going to have loads of DLC content. And I've thrown up the Evolve Steam page in front of me. It is currently now £25. I don't think it's been out that long, has it?
No.
February, 9th of February. It's now down to £25. And there is, I need to quickly whip out a calculator. Right, there's £140 worth of DLC content.
140.
£140. There's loads of $3.99 things, which is just skin packs. Then there's $5.79, which is monster skin packs. And then there's the behemoth monster, which is $7.99. But just so many different skin packs. Oh, there are actually some new characters, like new what's called an assault class, a new trapper, new medic. But £140 in DLC is just
Yeah, and the thing is with Evolved, I remember them saying, "Oh, this game is built for DLC." So it's kind of like, what are you selling us? A game or a plate for you to try and fill us up on DLC?
Not like they're really selling us like a complete game.
I think that is
Extra stuff to throw.
I think that is actually a huge problem, is that so many companies are now getting away with the idea of, well, let's ship like 3/4 or 4/5 of our game and then make people pay additional money to be able to play the completed game. Assassin's Creed was quite bad for this as well.
Yeah.
Isn't Destiny doing that right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes.
I haven't played it. Red didn't. I can't remember if you have a copy, but didn't the recent Mortal Kombat have some stuff like that? Because there was the Goro DLC that was a pre-order.
There is the easy fatalities, which is like you get the small one, which is $3.99, I believe, and the big pack one, I think it's like 20 easy fatalities, which is like 20, I think, or 10 or 15, something like that, around that range. I'm not too sure, but I know there is you can buy these packs and they're usable, so they're not permanent type of thing.
So you're basically paying money for a very limited number of button presses.
Yeah, just press one button, easy fatalities. Yeah.
One thing I actually find really funny is that you bring up Mortal Kombat is the fact that I know they introduced the Predator into Mortal Kombat as a DLC character.
Oh yeah.
And you could.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, but also, again, more DLC. I mean, some DLC is good because it keeps a good game going, especially if you enjoy it, but there are some games that me personally, is starting to feel like, is this a game anymore, or is it some sort of monstrosity stitched together of DLC? The one that automatically jumps to mind is Payday 2. And they have said that they will be supporting Payday 2 for a number of, for at least 2 years, I believe it was.
Out of interest, you said you propose that there are some games out there that do DLC right. Could you actually name any?
Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
Yes, 3. Well, the fact that they have free DLC, which is always a very nice thing. It's like, oh, hey, you bought our game. It was, you seem to be enjoying it. Here, have more. It's like a lovely lady coming up and offering you seconds after you've just had a nice slice of wonderful pie.
That does actually sound absolutely awesome. The game I would actually say did it right was actually Borderlands 1. I've not played any of the DLC content for Borderlands 2 because I got bored of Borderlands 2. But I didn't mind putting the money into Borderlands 1's DLC content because it was additional content. It wasn't content that needed to be there for you to finish the game.
It's just extra stuff because now that you've beaten the game, it's like, oh man, I want to do more.
Yeah.
Oh, where's more of the more fun stuff? Oh, we can pay $5. Here's a couple more hours of gameplay. Sweet. New adventure, new stuff.
Indeed.
How about we step back in time a little bit before we actually got DLC? You guys remember like expansion packs for games?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Roller Coaster Tycoon with all that freaking expansions everywhere.
Yes.
All these extra parks and junk, or like flipping StarCraft.
Yep, Brood Wars.
I never actually beat Brood War.
Oh, I did. Oh, I loved it.
I should go back and do that one day. But yeah, that's before we had DLC, for those for those of you kidlets out there who don't know, we had expansions. They weren't really downloadable. You had to go to the store and buy them, and then as long as you had
Installed them in.
as long as you had your game installed on the computer, boom, there you go. You got your expansion pack. You put it in there and you boot the game up. Now you got all this extra stuff to do, and you didn't need it to enjoy the original game at all. The developers were like, we should continue doing this because people really seem to like it. Let's give them another 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours of gameplay with a whole new, string of missions, all this extra stuff.
I think I'm actually really happy that you actually brought this up. The what do you actually classify as an expansion, and what do you classify as DLC? Because I mean, to me, an expansion is maybe not necessarily entirely the same amount of time in content as the original, but at least it brings in new stuff to the original, or it is as long as the original. So, like, Brood War didn't bring any new stuff to the original StarCraft, but the campaign was as long as StarCraft. But in Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction didn't have the length of Diablo, but it brought you new classes to play through the original Diablo content, or Diablo 2 content.
Yeah, I'd say like a good expansion is like what you said. It's got to give you more stuff to do in the game. Whereas DLC, I feel that's kind of more like, cosmetic changes, or maybe like that extra faction you can play in your favorite RTS, or, a new character class or something like that. That's just added to the game that just, isn't really...
That new shiny gun.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need it to complete the game or to have like more fun. Like say like the what's that class in Borderlands 2, the one with the giant robot.
The Techromancer?
Yeah, you don't need her to have fun in the game because I'm having a hoot with the commando, throwing turrets everywhere, blowing shit up. It's great. Or like, I don't need the psycho. Colin does though. he can't play the game without it. That DLC was made for him. Oh, I'm sorry, you got suckered into that.
I know, but I enjoyed it. Right? You see me going around stabbing everyone with my axe.
One thing I really like is how Blizzard do their expansions. They don't do DLC content. They redo expansions. And in World of Warcraft, you may have not necessarily bought into the latest expansion, but they have retroactively changed things. So, like the biggest thing was in vanilla, in the vanilla base World of Warcraft, the quests were all over the place. I remember whenever I would describe to people the problems I had with the quests was in one of the regions known as Silverpine Forest. You had this huge problem for the undead where they had to fight the mages of Dalaran and the Worgen of Gilneas. And then when you leave that area, you move on to Turin Mill in Hillsbrad Foothills. And all they want to do is get you to slaughter stuff so that they can make a new plague. And I'm like, what happened to the Worgen, the werewolves? What happened to the mages? Why am I now making a plague? This makes no sense. In Cataclysm, their third expansion, they actually revisited all of the vanilla content and redid the whole thing. So quests had more of a plot to them. They weren't so the majority of the quest text wasn't about, oh, this is how you get there. And the fact that Blizzard actually goes back and changes all this old content, not necessarily for the people that have actually bought into the new content, but just for everyone for no charge, is amazing.
I'd have to agree, yeah. That is good on them. Why I keep giving them money.
As everyone should. Praise be to Blizzard.
Praise the Blizzard.
Indeed. And I say that, and I don't even have a WoW account yet.
Yeah, I don't have one either. I
I did long time ago.
was a sinkhole of time, money.
Actually, that's one thing I also love about their World of Warcrafts. Actually, all their games when they do this, because they do expansions, and you need the base stuff, you need the prior stuff before you can actually get the new content, the new expansion. They actually seriously reduce the price of all of their stuff. Like, so the current expansion to World of Warcraft is Warlords of Draenor, right? But I'm looking at their shop, that is £35, right? However, all of the content from level 1 to level 90, which is 10 levels off the top, is £10. Because they know that like no one's going to want to buy a base game plus turns around 5 expansions, especially at 35 quid each. No one's going to want to do that.
Yeah,
No.
it's really silly.
Yeah, I remember a couple of other games that didn't bundle their past expansions. So to basically get an account up and running at, like with your friends, especially if they've been buying the expansions, was something like nearly £200. So
A little excessive.
yeah, because if people look at that, they just see this huge paywall and they're just going to go, sod that, I'll go get something else.
Yeah. I'm going to play Warframe because it's free. Sorry, I'm not plugging anything. I don't know what you're...
I do. Now, Red, what did you
Yes.
want to bring to the table?
Oh, what do I want to bring to the table? Well, let's see. This is a game I've been looking at for almost a couple years now. At least, it was announced in E3 2013. The Mad Max video game.
Oddly
Yes.
enough, that's on my Steam page right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been hearing news ping up about that, and it's a cool new trailer.
Put that on my wish list. Who doesn't want to drive around the wasteland blowing things up?
Yes,
That's what you get to do.
yes. My friend did kind of argue, but Colin, but Fallout 4, and I go, but I replayed like the Fallout series. It is going to be great. It's going to be something new. Power armor with jetpacks, right? Right. But
Right.
this is Mad Max, something different. Something different. Well, yeah, different in its own right because it's Mad Max, and it's something I want to try out. It looks fun. The vehicle mechanics is kind of fun. Go out in the wasteland, get some like materials to build your own car, and go around just being a badass.
The
But
car is the
yes.
biggest thing. The
Oh
scale
yeah.
of the world is going to be like far huger than. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it'll be probably way bigger than Fallout.
What I've
It'll
seen
actually
for
it'll be like a vast, expansive wasteland.
yeah, what I've seen for like some of the like teaser trailers to some of the reveal uh on the world, it looks pretty big, and the weather effects on it is quite amazing for wasteland, right?
Mhm.
What I noticed is, yeah, they delayed it for a year because I believe they're trying to match it with the movie
Yeah.
Fury Road,
Yep.
and I noticed something on the trailer. They actually, I think they featured the bullet farm in there, which it was mentioned in the movie. So they're trying to connect it to the movie.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Good ass movie too. For
Mm.
those of you who haven't seen it, definitely go watch it.
Yeah.
Best car
I
chase.
completely agree. I'm actually watching the trailer silent right now, and I'm kind of glad this is a Warner Brothers game, isn't it? Yes, it is a Warner Brothers game. I'm actually very happy that they actually turned around and actually delayed this game because it wasn't ready. because of a certain other title that really dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Which I think it's supposed to have a September re-release. That other title obviously being Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this does look awesome. I am noticing again the whole pre-order Mad Max and get an additional fully customizable Magnum Opus car. Like, do we really need pre-order content?
I don't pre-order games. You know my standard of pre-order. Never again. You know?
Never
Never
again.
Yeah, the incident of Colonial Marines.
Oh, we all got stung by that.
Yeah. Even people who had nothing to do with it felt the sting.
Yeah.
It's stung by association. Because Colin just wouldn't stop whining and complaining about how much it sucked. I had to sit there and I'd be like, dude, just let me play my game in peace.
So, out of interest, and this again, why do I segue everything? Do you know what happened with Colonial Marines?
It was dropped on its head as a child?
Kind of. So basically, Gearbox, they were developing it, and they had been developing Borderlands for better part of 10 years,
yep. Mm-hmm.
right? And then they were doing the production of Aliens Colonial Marines for Sega for a long time. Like, Sega weren't really giving them any direction, so on and so forth. And there was no deadline. There was never a deadline. And then ultimately Sega turned around and just dumped a deadline on Gearbox. But Gearbox were too determined to make sure that Borderlands 2 was a success, because they knew that given Borderlands 2 or given Colonial Marines, Borderlands 2 would definitely categorically give them the money. Yeah? And everyone loves the money. So what they did was they gave what they had developed to another games developer. That games developer scrapped it and started again. And they developed something actually worse than the can I swear?
Yes.
The bog shite that or the steaming pile of shit that
I may have done that earlier, actually.
They did I?
No, I did.
Oh, okay. They actually they produced this this company produced this pile of shit that was so awful that Gearbox then had to pull all their resources and put all their resources into 3 weeks of getting Alien Colonial Marines to be anywhere near as good as what they had previewed at the E3 before. And they only got as far as what we actually received. So I think it's bad on Gearbox, certainly. But subcontracting stuff like this is not uncommon in the development world. Warner Brothers, Arkham Knight. Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry to segue again, but Arkham Knight having its re-release on PC. Do you guys think that's really too little too late, the damage has been done and no one's really going to pick it up? Or do you think there are going to be some people who are still going to pick it up?
Well, if they promise to fix it and like what he said, and give them a second chance, see what happens. But don't hold your breath.
From what I've seen, a lot of people liked it, like on the on the console and stuff, to a point. But I think at this point, maybe everybody who wanted to play the game really, really badly probably has bought it on a console by now. And so now that it's going to be released back on the PC, hopefully with everything more or less fixed, everyone at this point knows what's going to happen in the game, and probably are not going to buy it.
No. It's probably definitely damaged their renown for PC ports. I mean, because I will hands up say I've never played any of the Batman games on PC, but weren't the other few that they done a bit dodgy or something?
Arkham Asylum was amazing.
Yeah, Asylum was amazing. City, I didn't like too much because I liked Asylum for its linear structure, but they gave you a lot more freedom in City. Origins was actually developed by another company entirely because Rocksteady, the games developers who made Asylum and City, turned around and said, "No, we don't want to make any more." But then I think they were struggling to find other intellectual properties that they could actually produce games for, or alternatively, EA turned around and said, "We will give you huge money. Please make."
That would do it.
Yeah. So it was, the fact is that Rocksteady had to come back, actually pick up the PC port that was rehashed by this god awful company to actually make any good. I think says a lot for whom Warner Brothers or anyone else, even Gearbox, should actually subcontract their stuff to. The worst thing I feel for the audience, go to the Steam page, which again I'm on right now. It says the developer of the game is Rocksteady Studios. They didn't make the PC port, and that's not fair on them. They're getting the blame for some cack-handed product that someone else made.
Yeah. But hopefully we will have better luck with Mad Max.
Yes.
We better have bad luck with Mad Max.
Yeah. So I'm certainly interested in Mad Max, but I think I would personally wait for not necessary reviews, but maybe gameplay footage from various YouTubers just to see whether or not it's as interesting as the trailer makes it out to be. I mean, I get this very strong like Tomb Raider reboot vibe from the game.
What I've seen for gameplay wise for the mechanics and combat, it's going to be similar to the Batman series type of style combat.
Honestly, that type of style of combat is very immersive and very cinematic. As
Yeah.
as I'm experiencing right now playing Shadow of Mordor, that game is just like, oh,
I do wish
good.
more. I do wish more games actually did take this approach of, that form of fluid melee combat that exists within the, or was even started. Maybe there was on other games that actually started it, but Batman Arkham Asylum took ownership of. You know, I really wish Warframe had something like that, but then I realized that there's a small problem with games like that, and it's like, oh, you introduce a gun, huge problem. And I do feel that games like Assassin's Creed did try to do this, but there was one small problem with Assassin's Creed, and that was the fact that only ever one person at a time would try and fight you. Whereas with the Batman games, it was really good, and it just felt, as you said, so immersive.
Well, not exactly. From what I remember from Arkham Asylum and for what I'm experiencing right now in playing Shadow of Mordor, you'll be facing one guy, and then some douchebag will come up behind you and try to whack you on the head, and then you just have just gotta press the parry button to block him, and now you're suddenly fighting that guy. So they do kind of come at you one at a time, but then you also got to watch out for people, shooting arrows at you or throwing spears at you and things like that. So you just got to watch out for the button prompts, which does make it kind of like a more cinematic quick time event, but you are moving around and doing other stuff at the same time too. So It's interesting. But yeah, you can only really do it with one guy coming at you at a time, or else it'll just get too crazy, or else you'll be mashing the parry button the entire time.
Yeah.
And then that would look silly. I don't know. I think Warframe's kind of got it down though, because it's all about being really fast paced and just blitzing through people and just mangling them as fast as possible.
It needs a tutorial. Like I just so one thing. So the melee of Warframe on PC, it requires 3 buttons. It requires a block, a your actual attack, and it requires a channeling button. Now, for ease of use, because channeling was you have to hold it down. I put that on my right mouse button. I put melee attack on my my third left mouse button, and then I put block on my E button. And then I was advised by people wiser than I, otherwise known as Loz, and he basically turned around and said, "Actually, you can toggle the power up mode. You can toggle the." And I was just like, "What?" And then as soon as I found this out, I was just like, "Okay, so put block on the right mouse button, put attack on the left, and then toggle the power mode on E," and then it just became so much better. And I really feel the tutorial system would have made that awesome.
I haven't played for a while, so I haven't really gotten into the groove of, what was that, Melee 2.0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you miss a lot. Got like Parkour 2.0 too, so yeah.
Don't worry, we'll drag him back kicking and screaming at some point.
You can't make me.
I'll give you a Rhino Prime.
Oh, okay. All took. Rhino is my homeboy.
Hungry gamers. We'll return to games for Promise's shiny stuff. Okay. Drew, you had something?
As in my topic.
As in your topic.
As in my
boy.
topic. Oh, awesome. Okay, so a few weeks back, there was a little known gaming convention called Gamescom. It was held in some country called Germany or some such. And at Gamescom, there was a huge Bethesda booth which wasn't Doom. And I was so sad that it wasn't Doom, but it was Fallout 4.
Oh boy.
Now, I don't really have any interest in the Fallout games. I tried 3. 3 is the only game I've played. Maybe I should go back and try 1 and 2, but I don't like the fact that if I shoot something in the face with a shotgun, it doesn't die. I don't care if well, no, I do care if it's paper. Anyway, now my topic is basically someone leaked footage of the gameplay of Fallout 4 during Gamescom. And this leaked footage ended up getting on YouTube, and then shortly afterwards got brought down by ZeniMax, Bethesda's parent company. And then the footage ended up on what's the name of the file hosting services. Think like Mega Upload, if that even still exists. But the problem with that was that the file hosting services couldn't cope with the sheer demand of downloading this file, and ultimately ZeniMax found out and pulled it down. Then comes the best place it got hosted. Is anyone familiar with Pornhub?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So the Fallout 4 leaked footage got put out on Pornhub under this glorious title. Hidden camera shows audience teased by big butt man in tights live.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was up on Pornhub for a few days before it eventually got pulled down. But one thing I want to highlight is pretty much on Pornhub, none of the content that is ever uploaded actually belongs to the person that's uploaded it. So it's kind of like, put that into perspective. Everyone sort of like steals and puts it up on Pornhub. So I actually came away with a couple of questions from this whole scenario, which is, how do you guys feel about the secrecy of special announcements in this day and age? I've got a couple of examples here of like the Deadpool teaser and the Warframe movie footage, both of which got leaked from San Diego Comic-Con. One was last year, one was this year.
Wait, hold on. Back up a bit here.
Sure.
Warframe movie?
Did I say Warframe?
Yeah, you
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. Warcraft.
Oh, got me excited for nothing.
did.
Warcraft.
Oh, shit. No, Warcraft's amazing. You should be more excited about Warcraft.
I actually am pretty excited about the Warcraft.
Oh, man.
I know nothing about Warcraft, but just seeing that that actor just dressed up as that orc was like, that's not CGI. That's a dude with practical effects all over his face. How cool that is!
I think there was CGI involved. Because like no one is built like an Orcroft from Warcraft, but
I point to Iceland.
Point to Iceland. True, you can't Google that. So how do you feel about the secrecy of special announcements in this day and age, where like companies say, right, we'd really appreciate it if you didn't record this, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, we'll throw you out and ban you from ever coming back, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I almost kind of think that it's like they're teasing them. They know they're going to do it, and then people are going to know it's out there and go looking for it.
It drives hype, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It's just like,
we
continue, sorry.
live in the age of the internet now, where we have access to everything, and if we can't find something, we get pissed off. Right?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
If something like that exists, and if it was only like exclusive to whatever the heck you went to, that would piss off a lot of people. So it's not a good thing, especially when it's like, exclusive to, something people have paid to go in and go see.
Then the question I have for you is, so are you saying it's more infuriating for the people that don't get to see it, or the people that paid to go see it?
I'm saying that it's unavoidable, but it's also unfair to those people who have actually paid to go to the con, go sit down, go get to see this teaser, and then some asshole is now recording it on his phone or whatever, now to post it up for everybody else to see. So that exclusive thing that you've paid and went to go see is suddenly meaningless.
Yeah.
So it's unfair for them. It's like a minor form of like a strange form of theft almost.
I think, okay, in this, I know what you're trying to say. Sorry, I know what you've said. I've understood what you've said. Now I'm trying to say what I want to say. One part of my response is the fact that whoever actually went to Gamescom and actually played it, they get that experience. They get to take that home with them.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff that was at Gamescom were just like video announcements. Like we actually got to see a demo, well, tech demo sort of thing of the upcoming Warhammer Total War, or as Hold likes to call it, Total Warhammer.
It'd be called Total Warhammer. Seriously, the hell.
And so in that sort of instances, yeah, okay, it would be nicer if that could be something you could take away. But at the same time, as one of us said, it's the age of the internet, and there's always going to be someone who's going to do this. Like while
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
there, I would probably safely say every 5th person, maybe stretching it to every 10th person, had a selfie stick and a GoPro on the end.
Of course. And there was like none of the people like hosting the thing were telling people to turn those things off or do anything with them.
Well, some instances there were signs saying, "Please do not take footage" or whatever. There were very few instances of that. The entire 2K panel had that, and the Fallout 4 panel certainly had that. But yeah, there's always going to be someone.
But there wasn't anybody like physically going and stopping the people from taking the recording.
No, because I've not actually witnessed this leaked footage, but what I do know is I've seen a screenshot, a still of it, sort of thing, and it's just basically someone's got the phone between two guys' shoulders. Yeah, so like the footage is obscured and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I think people are always going to find a way.
Yeah.
They will.
And over a 4-day period, it's going to be so easy to find.
Yeah. I'd say there's also the fact that not soon after the news going around that, hey, this leaked video is up on Pornhub, that they've come back and announced that there will be no more gameplay and story trailers trailers alluding to Fallout's gameplay and story for this new game. So that almost makes this leaked bit of footage even more of a sort of a forbidden fruit. It's like people are going to start scrounging for it even more because they know it's going to be out there somewhere. It's going to turn up again.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, do any of you know what happened with the Age of Ultron trailer?
No.
Okay, so an Age of Ultron teaser trailer went live. Something like, I don't know, it was either a day or a month or something like. It went live on YouTube early, right? It went up too early, and what Marvel did was they owned it, right? They turned around and they said, "Damn it, Hydra!" And literally, they actually said that. And then they released a new, more complete teaser trailer that actually had a scene from the movie. And I think that's really good of them. But in this day and age, when there's an abundance of fast internet, there's an abundance of YouTubers. I personally think it would be better for companies like ZeniMax or whomever to turn and do sort of like a deal with a YouTuber and say, right, we want you come play our game, show some footage of our game, the press day of the convention, because the press day is always the one day before anyone else gets access to it. And then that way, it completely undermines such poor quality footage. You know, that companies are afraid that doesn't properly represent their game.
That is very true. I think the first like gameplay footage I ever saw for backtrack a bit to Mad Max is I saw that on the Game Theorists. And I think it was kind of like either before when the start of the video or near the end, he was talking about how he got like a beta copy of the game, just so they could show like how the game's played and show that the how the car mechanics work. Like if you put too much armor on your car, it's gonna be slow, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I guess are they doing that now? I guess like YouTubers now getting like copies of games to
Yeah, because
show around.
yeah, I knew that Cryotic, he and a few others who I can't remember the name of. They got press release versions of Dying Light for them to record, and I think it was something like a day or so before the actual. I think it was sometime before the official release, but they could, since it was a press version, it would only go up to a certain point.
Yeah.
But still, it was enough. And it also meant in the competitive world of YouTube Let's Plays, it means that they could get their videos up before anyone else.
Well, okay, so my next question for this topic, which actually probably alludes into the next thing I was going to say, is how do you feel about companies like ZeniMax being able to take down content like this? What I was going to follow up the previous statement with was, so you know Shadows of Mordor?
Mm-hmm.
Loads of gaming YouTubers were not permitted to release their reviews or previews of the game's content, or even Let's Plays of the game's content until an embargo was lifted. And they weren't allowed to actually show any plot, they weren't allowed to show any single player campaign, and they were only permitted to show like the challenge mode, right? To which Total Biscuit saw this. Oh, and they got like a silly amount of the revenue as well. Oh yeah, and if they didn't like it, they could pull it down at like a moment's notice. They had control over that.
Yeah, I think there wasn't there. Sorry to interrupt, but wasn't there something like as well? They also put in the clause that you couldn't say anything bad about the game, like
Yes.
if you were playing it and it's something like
Yep.
calling out derpy AI or something.
Yeah. So yeah, you couldn't have any negative comments for the game.
The game's got loads of derpy AI.
And I know the YouTuber Captain Sparkles. He signed this. He actually did this. But YouTuber Total Biscuit, he refused to. You know, he wasn't prepared to have his voice so badly strangled. To which he then he ended up getting a copy of it at some point, and yeah, he ended up showing off the game, and he's like, "Look, this is great. You know, why put an embargo on it and things like this?" So yeah, how do you guys feel about companies like ZeniMax, like Nintendo, like whomever, being able to take down content like this?
It's really kind of shitty because some of them, as we know, will just use copyright strikes, put YouTube channels in bad standing simply because of they woke up and they felt a bit butthurt one morning because they didn't particularly like this review that was a bit less shining than someone else's. I mean, indie devs, as you all know, some of us here, of course, watch Jim Sterling. He's been hit with strike after strike after strike because someone's done a Unity asset flip game and he's called them on it.
Yep.
And don't forget about Slaughtering Grounds, right?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one? Okay.
Yep.
Well, there's Slaughtering Grounds, there was Guys of the Wolf that hit Total Biscuit. And there's been a few more. There was some skateboard game that Jim didn't actually play, but he did his best of Steam Greenlight trailer thing. And this trailer was running at something like 5 frames per second, and it's like, you don't do that.
No, you don't. I think that regardless of what press your game is getting, it's still getting out there, and they should be grateful that people are taking a dumpy ass game and playing it anyway and showing like, oh, okay, here's the game. It's a pile of crap. Here's some good things I liked about it though, but don't get it. That's their opinion. Maybe somebody enjoys the crap that game has, or something. Either way, the game is still getting out there, and they've basically just got free advertising from somebody.
Yeah, because copyright strikes, especially because of, this YouTuber or this journalist was mean about my game, is the totally wrong way about it, because the world's, as we were saying earlier, with the leaked footage, it's going to get out there, and the only thing, then the game stops becoming the point of focus. It's your behavior.
Yeah.
And people will find that unacceptable, and not only will that game suffer, any other game that has your name or relative association with it will start to suffer as well.
Like I post a piece of artwork up, and then somebody says something negative about it. I'm not going to hide their comment.
Yeah.
Because that's just being petty. Unless it was something offensive, then yeah, put that down.
Yeah. Or they just skip the artwork altogether and go for a personal attack, because I've seen that happen.
Yep. But yeah, you don't want to hide negative feedback, because that's just something that, if it's brought up in a constructive way, then yeah, sure, take it to heart, try it next time. Or fix it as soon as possible in terms of Arkham Asylum, or Arkham Knight, sorry.
Okay. On to our last subject of the day. Blaz, what did you want to bring? Oh
right.
boy.
Oh.
Everybody's favorite thing ever. If it's not your favorite thing ever, then I'm sorry, we can't be friends anymore. Star Wars. Everything revolving around that. Especially Battlefront. This Battlefront. I'm getting my hopes up, and I know I might be disappointed because EA is distributing this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
So it's something crappy is going to happen with it. I know it is, but every single trailer I've seen of it, I am eating it up. I am getting suckered in by this because it looks like the Battlefront game we deserve. Like one was great, 2 was better, 3 is just like everything I wanted. It just looks majestic. But I keep hearing people saying that it's not going to have the same amount of content as Battlefront 2 had, because Battlefront 2, for those of you who don't know, it had, you got your regular ground fights on different planets. Then you also had space battles, which arguably were kind of the downside of that game because they were all the same and extremely tedious. Sure, the ships were in different spots, but it was the same goddamn thing. Fly in your ship, fly in the enemy ship, blow up all their stuff, fly outside, blow the stuff on the outside, you win. There was really no challenge to it. I'm hoping if they bring back space battles in this one, say they'll do something like maybe you're attacking a space station, or you're instead of doing ship to ship combat, you're just doing a straight boarding action against somebody else's ship, or something like that. Just something different than your ship versus their ship, blow it up. Like that. It got to be something more than that. But I hear that they're not really going to be putting that in the game, as far as I know. But from what I have seen, I think there was a video they were doing the Battle of Hoth. You got people on the ground running around. You got giant ass AT-ATs walking around blowing things up. You got TIE fighters and snowspeeders fighting in the sky at the same time. Those are players, as far as I believed. I think they were.
Yes. I believe they had some footage from their point of view.
Yeah, they had some footage for their, flying around the airspeeder, one of them was roping around the AT-AT. That was just like, oh man, that was, I can't wait.
Also, one that no campaign as well as the.
Yeah, no Galactic Conquest. And for those of you who don't know what Galactic Conquest was, you get a galaxy map of the galaxy, and then you'd have different planets around there, all the different maps that you'd be able to play as, and then you'd kind of play like a you could either do it multiplayer or you cooperatively. You could build ships, go to different planets, invade people's planets, try to you basically just want to capture all the maps and then win that way. That was the most fun, I think, for that game. Aside from the campaign, which is pretty fun playing as Legion of the 501st. But if they take that out and just do like strictly multiplayer stuff, I think that might make the game suffer, because it's that kind of stuff you want to be able to do offline. Like, say if you get it on a console, you want to bring some buddies over and play that offline. You don't have to go online to do that. Or like, you just want to do some games with some friends. Any game that doesn't allow you just to play with your friends is like to advance the game is a pile of junk to me personally.
Yeah.
I had this problem with Hearthstone too. It's just like you have to play with people online all the time in order to do more stuff. What? Why? That's dumb. I don't want to do that. But yeah,
play with your friends, basically.
So I don't know how much you guys have been following this so far.
I'm not really following it too much because I'm actually kind of interested in other games. Because you know me, Tyler. We've been pros over 5 years. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I'm.
Yes, you are, Colin.
Yes, I am. Apparently.
Yes, you are.
But I do like it, but I'm not following the thing. So have they brought in something new? Like,
well, it's a totally different company doing it now. It's the guys who do Battlefield, I think.
okay.
Yeah, it's the guys who do Battlefield doing it.
I thought I thought it was DICE doing it, which are the same people who did Battlefield, or I'm thinking something else.
I think so. I'll have
DICE did do Battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not played a Battlefront game at all. I have a sneaking suspicion that they were only available on console.
No, you can actually get it on Steam right now.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if they have servers for multiplayer for it though, because I remember the last time me and a friend tried to play it, we just could not get the connection to work at all.
You have to host your own server or use was it Mahachi? I think to make it work.
Hamachi.
Hamachi. Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the days of that are kind of gone. I actually had. I don't know how this happened. I somehow got it for Xbox and for PlayStation 2. I don't know how that happened, but we managed to get both of them. So yeah, we played that with friends for like the longest time. It was a great game, fantastic game.
So
wow.
On the Steam page for Battlefront 2, it seems to be. I'm not entirely sure when is it set because it seems to have clone troopers on it, and it has Darth Vader, which is just like.
It's actually was it set from the first movie to the sixth movie? Well,
Right. Okay, that's fine.
They might be doing what Battlefront 2 did and have like here's you guys can play.
That's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2 you can play as you can play clone troopers versus the CIS, or you can play as the Empire versus Rebel Alliance.
Right. One point I have is I know recently they made an announcement for the new Battlefront, which was basically the introduction of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Now, as I said, I've not played any of these games, but as someone who has, my question to you, Blaz, is, or anyone else, is would you find it disappointing if you play as these super special characters that can do awesome stuff?
Sorry, can you say that question again?
Well, basically, would you find it disappointing if you could play as either Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader and you just mow down stormtroopers or rebels like vapor?
Well, that in Battlefront 2, that was the original idea. Is that once you get like a certain amount of kills, then if you're the current leader on your team, then you have the option to play as one of the heroes, and then you would demolish people.
Right.
But you get a time limit on that though.
Right.
And eventually, like if you the more you kill the players, the more your time goes up. So if you're running around and there's like nobody else to kill, then all of a sudden your thing just drops down, and then you'll get taken out, or somebody may just shoot and kill you. Because each time they hit you, your timer also goes down. So
Right.
if you're not very good with that character, you could just get shot up, and then that's it for you.
So was that
So
a good mechanic?
Oh, it was a very good mechanic. Because, especially if somebody wasn't, like, fantastic with that character, you could still probably take them out, even after they probably would have mowed you down quite a bit.
It's just like a juggernaut mechanic, right? It's
More
one
or less,
guy, is super strong, and everyone has to concentrate to take him down. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, they'll put like a little thing that pops up saying, like, oh, Luke Skywalker's into the battlefield, and everybody's just like, oh god, Luke's here, we gotta find him, we gotta kill him before he starts killing us. And that's when he flies out from behind a building and murders all 5 of you. And then you're like hunting around the map, trying to find him.
I love the description.
Oh man, it wasn't even characters with lightsabers that were the worst. It was characters like Han Solo and Boba Fett who were the douchebags on the map. Because they would hang out in the back, pop out from behind a building, headshot like 6 people, and then just run back somewhere else and like use their jetpack to like fly around.
Han Solo had a jetpack.
Oh,
I think
not
so.
Han Solo. Han Solo, he had like his blaster pistol could like fire 3 shots in a row, and if he shoots you, you're guaranteed gonna die.
Wow.
Yeah. And Boba Fett had like a flamethrower option and like his missile jetpack and things like that. He was just loaded full of goodies to murder your face.
Speaking of heroes, for the new Battlefront, have they announced other new heroes? Because last time I remember, they announced 4: Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and Han Solo.
I don't know too much about that. The only ones that I've seen so far is just Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, or Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader.
Okay. Because it's, I know Han Solo's kind of been announced, because it's kind of like one of the. I don't think it's on the DLC, but it was mentioned, like either a tweet or a announcement type of thing. And Boba Fett was in that trailer as well, so obviously that's going to be another hero in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping go ahead.
Personally, I prefer to play as R2-D2 because that little droid just can't die ever at all. Not even a giant lizard thing in a swamp can eat him.
No, you got a point there.
Yeah, the unkillable droid.
The plot armor is strong with this one.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said indeed. So moving away from games for a bit. The new Star Wars movie coming out in December.
Yes.
You guys think it's going to be as good as we think it's going to be?
I'll be worse than 1, 2, and 3.
Nothing wrong with 1. 1 was fine.
True?
Huh?
Okay, there's an airlock over there. I'm afraid you got to step into it.
1 is nowhere near as bad as 3. 3 was awful.
Oh, so we're just going to skip 2 altogether. Really crappy,
2 only got good halfway through. But 3 was awful through and through. It was just so bad.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Opening fight scene was nice, though.
I can't remember the opening fight scene of 3. Oh, wait. No, I vaguely do.
Yeah, they're flying through the ships, blowing stuff up, and they got the lights.
Yeah.
It was just that was good Star Warsy fun right there. I hope that would kind of carry through the movie, but then everything just kind of got Lucased.
But well, you say Lucas. I think Hayden Christensen had a helping hand with his amazing acting skills. But
not all of that was his fault though. It was mostly Lucas and those like last minute change. Okay, I'm not saying he's a fantastic actor. I'm saying he's done better. He is capable of doing better than what he's done in those movies. It's just given what he was given, how could he have done any better with that, really? But anyway, I'm not here to
Wait, that.
debate those movies. That's for another time. We could probably do like an entire thing just on that. But
What, an hour
this
arguing
new one,
about
like,
Star Wars?
Huh?
I said, what, an hour arguing about Star Wars? Which one's better, episode 1 or 3?
Exactly. We can debate which one of the prequels is the best one. The best of the worst. Save that for another time.
I don't like the fact that Disney originally turned around and said extended canon is now no canon. And then because of the sheer outrage and fan rage and more rage, they turned around and said now it's legacy canon instead.
I can understand why they would have done that though. As there's like they did it and it sucks. I hate it too because what we could have gotten next would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But it's been like 20 plus years since they've been doing expanded universe stuff.
Yeah.
How do we expect them to like take all of that canon and manage to make a coherent story out of it?
That is obviously true, but the only plot I know that is post Return of the Jedi, which should originally been named Revenge of the Jedi, was the Dark Forces franchise. You know, the Kyle Katarn. Is it Kyle?
Yep, that's the guy.
Yeah, I think he was the. I think his games were the only games post Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I think the first Dark Forces was during. I think that the first two were during. I think.
Right.
He just kind of went off and did his own thing, really.
I know Jedi. I'd have
to cross-reference that, but yeah, the later ones like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, those ones were definitely after when Luke had made the Academy and everything.
Yeah.
But that's yeah, about Disney like wrecking the canon or taking it out, the expanded universe stuff. A lot of the stories that they would have been able to use or that should have come next, say the Thrawn trilogy, Luke was still pretty young then. All the other characters are still pretty young-ish. And now they're kind of old. So unless they're making some sort of like, CGI animated movie, hopefully not using the same CGI they're using for the cartoon now, then I hate it. I hate it so much.
You don't like Rebels?
No.
He's not a big fan of Rebels.
I can't enjoy it because the main character is Star Wars Aladdin. They called him a street rat in the first episode. Come on.
Yeah, but
it looks like Aladdin.
Nice one, Disney, right?
Yeah, damn, I never realized that.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Great Easter egg, right?
No, it's not even an Easter egg. It's just retarded. It's stupid.
Like I said, man, that's Disney for you, right?
What I'm having the most trouble with though is that they're moving everything too fast. I know kids today, they got like a really short attention span, but a lot of the fans aren't always going to be kids though. There are like adults and people who enjoy Star Wars, people like me, who actually want to see like a good Star Wars thing. Clone Wars was pretty dumb, but it was okay in some parts. Some of the episodes were not bad. But Rebels comes along. I watched the first episode with my dad. My dad likes it. I just was like, what's wrong with
See,
you?
I like it because of the subtlety that the Force is. It was nice and subtle in the original trilogy in episodes 4 to 6. But in episodes 1 to 3, it was so heavily...
It was abused.
Please pass me the sugar. And it was like, why, yes. It was so heavily overused. And I hated the fact that the lightsabers became these huge, fat, baton-like things instead of like the nice, thin things that were in the original trilogy. And it's just like, I'm just waving my arm around, I'm hitting everything. Go back to your original question. of whether or not I would actually like to see the new film coming up. I do think it'll be good because what J.J. Abrams brought to
Star Trek.
yes, didn't suit Star Trek, but would really suit Star Wars.
I think he said in an interview that his heart was always with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which pissed off a lot of people because now that he's off Star Trek doing that, they're like, oh, that's delaying the next Star Trek movie. What the hell? I feel so entitled, Trekkies, sometimes. This is like, oh, ours was like the first real science fiction thing on TV.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm more of a Trekkie than I am a Star Wars fan.
I do like Star Trek too. Just so people know, I'm suffering through Voyager for all of you.
Oh,
I'm doing this for you.
Hold on. You're suffering through Voyager over DS9?
Oh, no, we're done. I'm done that. The Voyager's the last thing I have to watch, and then I'm done Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think how long have we been doing this now?
We are approaching an hour and 20.
You see, we could be going on about Star Wars forever. So, I think we might want to nip it in the bud right now before I start ripping off my books off the walls and being like, This, that, and the other thing, the chronology, alien species. I got all these books
I'm
here,
surprised you're not
which are useless now.
I'm surprised you're not complaining about Force Unleashed. How ridiculous the Force powers was in that.
Colin, don't get me started.
Yes, and before Colin does get Tyler started, we will have to set aside a special Star Wars episode. But for now, that is it for us hungry gamers.
I'm actually really hungry. I need to go get some food.
I need food.
We're fasting like Gandhi.
It's only been an hour and 20, Jesus.
I know! It's been forever.
Lifetime. Yeah.
I'm old now.
I'm older.
Okay, now that's it from us.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.